Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm the Serious Strategy Gamer and we are returning to Hearts of Iron 4. Now I've rearranged our forces a little bit, made them much cleaner and a much nicer setup, I think. So let's talk about that in a second and then our plans going forward. Oh, you know what? Let's start with the plans. So our most important focus is going to be on the Nordic side over here. It is January 1942, so this is going to be a severe winter war, but I do want to push back the Germans here, specifically out of Leningrad, because Leningrad is a super useful province for us with a lot of unlocked stuff. So we're going to try to drive them specifically out of here, but also out of some of the further regions over here in the Nordic area. Now, a lot of these guys must be suffering a little bit of attrition. We have arrayed our forces here in such a manner that we can hopefully do that. So let's briefly look at them. Firstly, I've rearranged them all into a single front over here. In this single front, what we've got is the Spetsnaz, so our mountain troops that are arrayed over here towards Leningrad itself, led by Andrei Vlasov. He is a winter specialist and winter expert, so we do hope that he has some benefit in attacking over there, including the infantry leader and the infantry expert. So that should be a very good offensive force up over here. We've also got a couple of mechanized forces from the 2nd Mechanized Group. They're primarily going to try to attack Leningrad and then swarm out here behind the line, sort of come in between these Great Lakes and cut off any German retreat if possible. Another group of these guys is set up over here, just 5 divisions. If we do arrange a breakthrough over here, they're going to again just try to flop that and sort of prevent any German retreat over there and sort of make some cut-off maneuvers. Then we've got the Army number 7, which is again sort of adapted to winter experts. They're not great, but they're decently led. They're going to come in here between on this lake. I don't know actually what the lake is called, but they're going to try to come here, cut off these two parts of the German front apart. Then we have got the 2nd Mechanized Forces, we talked about them. We've also got the 2nd Guards Army, so I did rename all of these guys here as guards. So these are our 40 width divisions, and these guys are going to make the broad and sweeping attack over here into all of this. The reason why Ivan is leading them is because he has the Ranger trait, which gives us a bonus in fighting in forest, and this is obviously a very heavily forested area. So yeah, they're going to try to break through on this side over there. Then on the far right, we've got 2 armies currently. This is the 15th Army. These guys are currently holding the front. They've been just transferred from Siberia, from the Far East, where they were guarding against Japan. Sort of as historically the reinforcements to Moscow were. Now these guys are all very green, so what I did is I ordered these guys down here, the 2nd Army, to come up and reinforce that position. And once these guys, the 2nd Army, is going to take up the position over here, we are probably going to disband the 15th Army just to get access to the infantry equipment and sort of the reinforcements that we would get from there. So these guys are all going to get over there, and that is basically it for the Nordic region. We also got a couple of guards that are protecting the Baltic area here against naval invasion. And then we are planning for a spring offensive here in the Baltic region. And I've rearranged all of this, as you can see. Some of our armies are just sort of going in different directions now. So all of this here, and I know it looks a bit colourful, is arranged under Tukhachevsky. He is a very good guy, offensive. You can see all of his bonuses are over here. Aggressive assault, offensive doctrine, charismatic, infantry leader. So yeah, he should be great in attacking over here. He has a whooping 12% bonus on that. And what we're going to do is we are going to array the 1st Guard Army. This is our only truly good Guard Army. Under Vasily over here, Vasily does have infantry expert and infantry leader. Commander's a little bit less important, but he's going to try and break through over here from this area here towards Königsberg on a very narrow front. He's going to be supported by 18 divisions of mechanized forces. These are mostly tanks. And then on the northern part of the front line over here, we've got 3 normal armies, and they're going to try to push in and sort of cut these guys off from retreat or occupy them as we are moving in over here. Moving further south, we've got the central front. This is a little bit more of a defensive guy under Budulione over here. He's got ambusher, so these guys can entrench a little bit better. Defensive bonus, so max entrenchment is also get better. unyielding defender, so that is a better chance of counterattack, and trickster, which does give you a little bit better reconnaissance. So this guy, and we got to get reconnaissance bonuses from ambush, so that should actually harmonize nicely for defense. And I think this this little bulge over here is sort of exposed to that. So he's basically commanding all of the armies around over here. We are trying to reoccupy this forested area over here. Let's see whether that is possible. And then we've got just basically a couple of armies arrayed around that, including the 5th Guard army over here under Kirill. Kirill has one specific advantage, and he's an urban assaulter. So I did try to bring him down here because ultimately, of course, I expect this army to be fighting in Warsaw, Krakow, some of these urban terrains over here in central Poland. The only specific thing is that army number 18 is sort of forming a fallback line over here so that we are not immediately being overwhelmed. Moving further south, we've got the Balkan front over here. And that is specifically 2 Guard armies. These guys here that are arranged against Romania and Hungary. And they are supported by 1 army in their rear. Just an ordinary army in their rear. And then what else have we got over here? We've got you guys. We've got the 3rd Guard army. Where are you guys located? Oh, you're right up here. This is you. I thought you'd be under Central Command. But you know what, that's fine. No, that's actually fine. So yeah, you do belong to that. And that's a continuous line over here. So I think that is going to be great. Yeah, it's not quite continuous. I mean, these guys here do belong to the Central Army. But I think it's fine. These guys here will form up on that front. And these guys are just over here at Brest-Litovsk. And potentially cutting off in their rear over there. Keeping them occupied, and that should be okay. You're also commanding for now the army number 14, which is in Turkey over here. We're going to replace these guys here basically by our foreign troops, so by the troops that are sent as expeditionary forces to us, and they will sort of guard all of these flanks here, and then we hopefully can disband that army as well. So, without further ado, let's get back into the battle over here. Let's briefly check. We've got 700,000 losses. The Germans have got 4 million losses, so yeah, I do hope that we will be able to do something over here. We are going to just restart the game. Don't expect many offenses from the German side right now, so I think that it could be okay. And let's briefly check on the Air Force as well. Yeah, we do have a lot of guys over here. We don't have that many forces in our columns. Do we have one group of 200 planes maybe that we could spare? Right, okay, let's grab you guys and fly over the over Arctic Russia. So I think that'd be decent over there. Right, yeah. What are you guys? Oh yeah, we are losing a lot of scout planes, it seems. Okay, you know what? For now, stop your maneuvers there. I don't think flying over here does make a lot of sense for you, but we'll have to produce some as we go ahead. And you can see a lot of our forces are now rearranging. Let's see whether we can grab this province here. Doesn't seem like the Germans are advancing into that province, which is interesting. Moreover, it looks like the Germans are retreating from this province over here. Well, wouldn't that be nice? Wouldn't that be nice? So we've got... I mean, you guys are leaving. How long till you leave? 3 hours. Well... if that's the case, let's grab half of you and try to advance into there. Sure, if the Germans are going to give up territory like that, that's going to be fine. Ooh, and we are coming under attack over here, which I very, very much appreciate, because that is actually going to give these guys here a little bit of experience. They are for now a little bit of green because they have been transformed into this 24 division template, and they're not really accustomed to doing that yet. Is this already not freezing? No, it is, I think, heavily. Curious though that the graphics don't reflect that. Anyway, I think that should be okay. Right, let's briefly check on these guys over here. How well prepared are you? Yeah, it's gonna take a while until that is truly prepared. We do have low manpower, I know. All of the other stuff should be okay. We don't have any national focus set, but I do want to gain some political experience so that we can reassign a couple of guys. You guys are all sort of moving where I want you to be, so that's fantastic. You're actually a little bit weak over here, but then again a lot of these guys here seem to be withdrawing as well. Do think we are seeing a lot of Germans moving south, which is interesting. Brest-Litovsk once again seems to be relatively empty. But you guys are going there. And so are you. Well, you're strategically redeploying, I think, towards down here, actually. At which point you'll probably be overwhelmed. Which is actually fairly nice. Although that does mean a lot of troops aren't well. It's still 5 divisions over here. I don't think we can beat them there. Still, if we do find any weak spots, I think we might well try to capture them. This is 5 divisions moving out of here, but a couple of divisions moving in as well. So it seems like they're mostly transferring troops from the north to the south, and that does leave them extremely exposed over here. For now, at least. Only 4 divisions. A few divisions up there as well. Yeah, but let's try to build up our bonuses and see where that will be going. What? What? You know what, if you're gonna give up the territory just like that, then I'm extremely happy to take that. Where are you guys moving? You're probably moving out. Interesting to see the Germans rearranging their troops so quickly. I wonder whether that happened due to a reload. There's significant movement all along the front line over here. Yeah, especially they are sending a lot more troops down here. So that's very interesting, I think. Only 3 divisions up here, but yeah, how could we exploit that? Yeah, they're definitely pulling our troops off there, which is not ideal, but you know what, I think it's okay. Right, let's try to get more mechanized forces into here and sort of send them to their rear over there. Also, to me, this looks a lot like these guys might not have enough troops here, or whether these guys are actually strategically redeploying, which means we can potentially attack them like that. Also over here, this seems to be a little bit of a gap that they've got over there. Let's try to do spoiling attacking against these guys while doing an attack in full force along this front. I think these guys here will drop out fairly quickly, and that will only leave 1 division to defend against us, and at that point we might be doing okay. So naval result over here, we've lost a couple of submarines. Too bad, it happens. Right, you guys you specifically, are you still on strike force? You are. I think I would actually like you to engage at high risk. I'm not sure why you're not going there. Curious. We are a little bit charm and fuel, but not too much actually. Let's see. We've got an agent injured and an agent captured. That's not good. I think you guys did try to strengthen the resistance over here in Lublin. Do we see any of that? Yeah, intelligence operations 2 times plus 10%. Nevertheless, we do need to recapture you. Let's try to get someone who's good at this. Don't know whether anyone is specifically good at this. Commando. Yeah, let's grab you and let's immediately commence when we're ready. Good. Okay, there we go. Not many battles over here. I'm still trying to find weak spots as these guys are reshifting between their offenses. Don't see that many. It's maybe up north there a little bit, but that's going to be okay. So you guys are now arriving. And that means potentially very soon we can delete a couple of these guys here on the army number 15. Oh, we do have unassigned forces. Oh, a couple of motorized divisions. Well, that's lovely, isn't it? Let's assign you to the mechanized forces number 1. And you guys are going to go to the mechanized forces number 2. There we go. Fantastic. Alright, naval result. We are sinking a couple of convoys, hopefully. Yes, we are. So that's great. And indeed, we have advanced into Leningrad over there, or at least to the side of Leningrad. So let's make sure that we are attacking over here. You guys should actually attack over there. And you guys, at least half of you, are going to attack over there. And half of you are going to attack over here. So try to recapture the city of Leningrad. I think that would be fantastic. You guys have moved in here, so that's nice. Let's try to grab you and start an attack over here onto this central part to try to drive them out of there really, and try to overwhelm them. 60, yeah, you're doing fine. You'll be reinforcing this position, which is not good because we can only beat them basically if we do have one guy over here. So let's actually grab 2 of you and flank over there. This is not a good attack, but I still think it might be okay. Right, 73%, I think you'll be doing fine over there. And 89% over here. Yes, these guys are doing extremely well because they are dug in, but I think that's going to be okay. Right, let's drive the tanks up. And then what I want to do is grab at least one of these tanks, get over there. And then these light tanks maybe, you I want to get over there. And then one further one, you, try to get immediately behind Leningrad, so that we are overwhelming a couple of forces. Lend and lease, yes, we are gladly going to take infantry equipment. That would be fantastic and lovely indeed. Rest of the front, stable so far. This all still frozen, so I don't think we need to do any attack right now. Okay, you guys are attacking over here. This is fine. You guys are going there. You guys are going to the rear. Well, I don't like that. Let's try to get around over there. And at least one of you might actually support this attack here. You should not be going there. You should be trying to take on far lands. Okay, up over here, how are things looking? Not too bad actually. Let's try to support this attack over here. And I think we might be able to break through. That would be a fantastic result indeed. And over here it looks like army number 15 here is starting to be a little bit superfluous indeed. So let's disband all of these guys. And that should allow us to see a lot more infantry equipment being produced for our forces or being redistributed around our forces. Yeah, 60 days. That's the best we've been doing in terms of our supply for a very long time over here. Insufficient resources. Steel. Just why do we lack steel so much? So the Americans can't really send us enough right now. So what I'm guessing is we could ask Gangsiklik. Could ask Sweden. Is there anyone who would be able to send this without any convoys who's not extremely negatively disposed towards us? Well, most of these guys are somewhat hostile towards us. Japan not doing great. Sweden, I suppose we can ask for one bit of steel. We'll also have to ask for rubber by quite a bit. Yeah, so let's ask the Americans for that. Oh, we don't have enough convoys, is that it? Yeah, I think that's it. So that does mean we do actually need to ditch this. Yeah, well, or at least say only one more. Then we will be continuing to produce convoys. But I think that is gonna settle itself once we have conquered Leningrad here to some extent. Right, let's get one of you over there, let's get one of you over here, and one of you is simply gonna try to drive against these troops up there. You're going up ahead against them, that's okay. And let's try to grab these tanks here and sort of pass by the enemy and get into their rear there. So that's okay. Right, this attack over here looking fine. No template, yes I know. Insufficient resources, I know, because we don't have the material. Right, you've done your job over here. Let's simply advance you into Finland itself. I think that should be okay. Right, 2 troops over there. Let's continue the attack on that front, and I think Leningrad is going to fall extremely quickly now. Right, you've done that, and let's try to get you towards Helsinki. Yeah, there are some Spanish troops in winterish, in the winter conditions in Finland there. I'm not sure how comfortable these guys feel right at this moment, but I think it's going to be alright. By the way, let's have a look at the air situation up over here. So yeah, that is still sensible to do it like this, I suppose. At least Leningrad should fall extremely quickly now. There we go. You guys are passing by the enemy over there. There's another full German division over there. So that is something that we need to be mindful about. There's 2 provinces. Yeah, okay, you know what? Let's support this attack here by one more by one more guy. and I think Leningrad itself is going to fall any moment now. And we have indeed cut off these troops here from this part of the front line. So I think what we need to do is edit this slightly. Just make sure that sort of the yellow troops are like that. The winter troops, I suppose, can go a little bit more like this. So that it's slightly better allocated. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you actually to start your attack over here. And the winter troops, that's you, are going to do the same thing. Mountain troops, where are you guys post? Oh, you're over here right now. Ah, and look at that, we have already made a mistake over there. You guys need to come up over here. And I'm asking you to commence that attack just sort of immediately. Right, you guys do attack over here, please. Please. And you know what? The mechanized forces are also going to commence. Right, so basically everyone is attacking right now. Over here there's a slight issue because we've been cut off now. So let's try to grab you guys over there. You guys are going to go over here and then sort of come over there. And you basically need to attack into this area up there. And let's grab half of these mountain troops and come up over here. Okay, stop your attack. Do come over there. Leningrad itself is going to fall anyway. Yeah, there we go. Leningrad has fallen. You guys are now kicking them back. And we have a lot of free military factories now. So that is fairly fantastic, even though it means a lot of these things do need to be produced soon. But it also does mean, most importantly, that we can start to produce convoys again, which is going to be fantastic. How many military factories have we got? 5. About 5. Well, I still think one of our biggest shortages is infantry equipment. 60 days. Motorized equipment? We're not currently producing any. Light tanks. We are actually short on these. So let's have a look at the production of light tanks. Yeah, I suppose we can go for at least 5 light tanks. Let's prioritize that somewhat. Medium tanks, we are producing some. But yeah, I think also some more infantry equipment would be great. Right, okay, you're defending over there. These guys are starting to look a little bit not so great, I would say. Okay, you guys, can you go over here and then there, while these mountain troops are going to attack the Germans head on. Yeah, and you guys are fanning out to do your stuff over there. Let's attack over here. Let's bring you guys up there and start to attack into that province, just so that our guys are linked up again. Which they are now, and that's fine. And you don't really, I don't really want you to. No, oh, damn it. Okay, let's try to get here. Let's try to get you there. You guys are all sort of moving up and fanning out in all possible directions, which is cool. But honestly, I would like you to come up over there. Specifically these tank troops. You as well. Do come up there. Right, so that is more or less a disaster for the Germans up here. Which I obviously find fantastic. Right, let's also grab you over there. And sort of get our troops along this line. That I would appreciate a lot. And you guys are just gonna go there. And then we can ask this group here to also commence its attack. Which army are you? Someone over here? Oh no, you're an independent army. Okay, that's fine. Right, yeah, let's advance over there again. Is there any steel that we can get from anywhere over here? Don't think so, but that's okay. How does the rest of the front line look? Holding out over here nicely. You guys are starting to gain some experience, I suppose, which is okay. And then up over here, the Germans are still going strong. They're not really weak over here, and it's still winter, so I don't think we're going to attack right now. But over time, I think it's fine. You guys can sort of circle around there once you've done that. Let's try to grab the airport over there. And speaking of the airport, I think one of you guys here, and probably you, are going to be relocated towards Leningrad and then fly over Finland. Yeah, that's nice. And you're going to be cut off soon, I think. Down here. Wouldn't that be nice? Oh, this is a very strong infantry division over here. Well, 2 actually. But our mountain troops are also going to join up soon. So yeah, I think that's going to be okay. Yeah, and let's actually make sure that you understand that your offensive line is like that. And I think at some point we're going to pull these guys here off. You know what? I think you might actually go to Petrovsk. Yeah, there we go. Fantastic. So, all in all, a good result over there. Let's take a look at the Germans. So we've lost about, I think, 30,000 men more. Germans don't really haven't lost that many more, I think, over there. Italy is starting to lose some troops against us. Other than that, though, it seems like we've mostly killed other stuff. Let's actually check this out over here and see just what is the stuff that happened over the last, let's say, 1 month. 25,000 men lost, that's not a lot. Enemy combat losses 10,000 infantry equipment versus our 5,000. Not the best ratio, but I think one that I can easily live with. Artillery pieces lost quite a lot. Let's check out the Germans in terms of their intelligence, or our intelligence on them. So their stockpiles still extremely low, basically nothing. They are even starting to lose some motorized equipment, which certainly is nice. And in terms of the Air Force, still about 6,000 aircraft. So they're starting to lose some though. They're fielding basically the same amount of manpower still, but yeah, I do think they are in deep trouble. We can think about changing up our stuff over here. Specifically, we could do better conscription laws, but we do have 1 million people right now in our stockpile, so I think we could actually go for air superiority plus 10%. That would be a nice-ish factor. Do we have air superiority over here in any way? No, the enemy actually does have. And that does give you a bonus. Potentially it does. Right, and up over here in this area. Now we don't have air superiority, even though it seems like we would. How about over here? Yeah, we do. That is a reduction to their defensive value. It's not the best thing that we can hope for. It's not the worst either, but so let's briefly look at our construction here. We are still producing, repairing some infrastructure over here. It's not going to take long, so I think we can keep it up. We're also producing some other things. Ooh, in Leningrad. 90% damage to the infrastructure here. I think we need to prioritize that to make sure that we are basically that we can reinforce our troops. Or resupply our troops, I should say. Good. Yeah, so next time, I think in March, it might be time to attack over here. Once the ground is not that frozen anymore. Blizzard, actually, yeah. So we don't want to attack in these conditions. But other than that, we might want to start the attack over there soon. Let's briefly check one last thing. How many men are they deploying? 5 million. We are about deploying 10 million. So, yeah. Great. That being said, thank you very much for watching, guys. Hope to see you around next time. Until then, bye-bye.